There is a house at the edge of the city. Green painted gate, metal bars across every window, and silence, so heavy it hums in the walls. Inside that house, a girl was born, but not welcomed, not celebrated, just tolerated. Because she wasn't a boy, and in that house, being born a girl was already a sin. Her name was Lila, but her father never spoke it aloud. To him, the words, "it's a girl," were a sentence, a shame, a curse. He had prayed for a son, and instead, he got her. And so he decided to unmake what God had made. When she was 4, he cut her hair, short, jagged, like a boy. At 5, he packed away her dresses and replaced them with soccer jerseys and track pants. At 7, her name was changed. No more Lila. Now, she was Omar.
Girls are weak. Girls are soft. You will be strong. You will be a boy.
So she became what he wanted. Or at least, she pretended. She stopped dancing in the hallway, stopped singing to herself at night. She buried the sparkle. She learned to sit with her knees apart, to speak less, disappear more. At school, they called her tomboy. At home, her father called her son. And her mother said nothing. She sat quietly, folded into a corner of the couch, behind her veil, behind her fear. She watched her daughter vanish behind someone else's name and said nothing. Because silence is how women in that house survive. Lila adapted. She let go of mirrors. She tied down her hair with rubber bands so tight they left red marks on her scalp. She wasn't allowed to cry, so she didn't. But every night, after the house went dark, she'd press her forehead against the cold tile wall and whisper,
"I'm still here. My name is Lila. I don't care what he says. I exist."
Years passed. Lila became invisible. An empty seat in class, a shadow in photos. Even the teachers didn't know what to call her. But then came him. His name was Adam. He had a gentle way of noticing things. The kind of boy who looked people in the eyes when they spoke. One afternoon, he sat next to her in class, and without mocking or prying, he simply asked her,
"Why do you always look like you're holding your breath?"
It was the first time anyone had asked her a real question. Not, "What's your name?" Not, "Why do you look like that?" Just, "Why do you seem like you're not allowed to exist?" Lila didn't answer. She packed her books and left the room. But something inside her, something old and fragile, stirred. A week later, she found herself walking home next to Adam. The sun had dipped below the buildings. The air smelled like dust and rose water. She stopped, took a breath, and said the words she had been choking on for years.
"My name is not Omar. It's Lila. My father made me hide it."
Adam didn't laugh, didn't look away, didn't call her crazy. He looked at her like she had just spoken her own resurrection.
"Then I'll call you Lila. If that's who you are, then that's all that matters."
And just like that, she was real again. They began texting, late at night, quietly, secretly. She wrote in lowercase. He answered with emojis. It was silly and tender and dangerous. Because joy, for girls like her, always comes with a price. She started smiling again, quietly, behind closed doors. She drew doodles in her notebooks, stars, butterflies, a girl flying with a shaved head and open wings. She hadn't dreamed in years, but now she was dreaming again. But in houses built on silence, even whispers echo. And the day her father saw the messages, everything changed.
Lila didn't want to go back. The bruises of silence still sat on her skin. But Autumn's hand was warm around hers. He said quietly,
"Let's face him. Together. Just once."
She nodded, because for the first time in her life, someone was walking beside her instead of ahead of her. Her father was in the courtyard, a chipped teacup balanced on his knee. He looked up, saw them, his son standing beside a boy. His eyes narrowed, his jaw locked.
Who is he? Why is he touching you? What are you doing with him?
Autumn stood his ground, his voice calm but unshaken.
"Sir, I'm here to speak with you. I care about your daughter, her real self, Lila."
Her father's fingers tightened around the cup.
Daughter?
He spat.
There is no daughter in my house.
The cup dropped. tea splashed like blood across the stones.
Get out, out.
Autumn turned to her, eyes soft but fierce.
I'll wait for you. Even if he locks you up, I'll still wait.
And then he left. The gate swung shut behind him with a sound like a verdict. Her father grabbed her by the arm and dragged her inside, down the hall, into her room. The door slammed, the bolt clicked.
You want to play at being a girl? Then you'll learn what happens to girls who defy me.
His footsteps faded. Silence swelled. Lila slid to the floor, back to the cold wood, knees to her chest. Her heartbeat echoed in her ears. She still had a secret. A cracked old phone hidden beneath her pillow. No SIM, just Wi-Fi. Her mother's once, now hers. She powered it on, screen glowing like a candle. I sent the messages to Autumn with trembling thumbs. Tiny beams of light in a hallway of darkness. For a moment, she felt alive. At dawn, the door burst open. Her father stood there, shadow filling the frame. No knock, no warning. He looked down, the glow of the phone, Autumn's name on the screen. Her fingers froze.
You lied. You disobeyed.
He turned, disappeared, and came back carrying something silver, a hair clipper, buzzing like an angry wasp. He didn't speak again. He just grabbed her arm, dragged her to the living room, pressed her down onto a wooden chair.
You want to be a girl? Then you'll feel what it means to be humiliated like one.
The first stroke tore a patch of her hair away. She gasped. The second pulled more. She whimpered. The third made her cry out.
I'm your daughter. Please don't do this.
But he wasn't punishing her. He was erasing her. She tried to twist away. He slapped her. Her scalp burned where the clippers grazed. Strands of black hair fell like feathers, like ash. Her mother stood in the doorway, veiled trembling, hands clenched. And then something in her broke. She lunged forward, yanked the clippers from his hand, threw them to the floor. They buzzed once, then died.
You call this honor. You're not a father. You're destroying her.
He raised his hand at his wife, but Lila moved first. She ran, past her mother, past the broken machine, past the man who called himself her father, into the daylight. Her head half-shaved, scalp stinging, tears streaking down her face, but legs moving like she'd finally been unchained. She didn't stop. She didn't know where she was going, only that she had to keep moving. Her head burned. The left side was patchy shaved raw. The right still held tangled tufts of black hair, matted by tears. People stared, some in pity, some in disgust, but none of it mattered, because for the first time, she was no longer hiding. Layla wandered through the streets like a phantom until she saw a glass door with flickering pink neon.
Salon Lena, walk-ins welcome.
She stepped inside, bell jingling. The woman at the counter looked up, froze. Layla didn't explain. She just whispered.
Finish it. Make it even. Please, just let me start over.
This time the razor wasn't a weapon, it was a release. Each pass of the clipper cleared a piece of shame, of pretending, of him. Hair fell like years. By the end, she looked in the mirror and saw herself. Outside, a man leaned against his scooter. He looked up as she exited the salon. She didn't notice him, but he saw something in her, and instinctively, he lifted his phone, snapped a photo. He posted it that evening. I saw her walk out like she'd just survived a war.
I don't know her story, but I can't stop thinking about her face.
The internet saw it too. First 100 likes, then 5,000. Then strangers began commenting.
I see my younger self in her. That's the face of quiet courage. Who is she? She looks like someone trying to breathe for the first time.
Then a classmate replied.
That's Layla. Her father raised her as a boy. She fell in love. He punished her. She ran.
Within 48 hours, her name was everywhere. Let Layla live. Her scalp, her story. Shaved, not silent. It became a movement. Students, artists, mothers, even fathers shared their own photos, their own stories, their own shaved heads. One woman wrote,
When I was 17, they cut my hair too. They said I was shaming the family. I never spoke up, but Layla just did, and I'm following her lead.
A young man posted,
I shaved my head today, not in solidarity with victims, but in rage against the systems that make victims necessary.
Crowds gathered outside her house, not to attack, but to witness, to hold space, to demand answers.
Why did you do this to her? Will you apologize? Where is she now?
No answer came. Her father shut the curtains, closed the gate, and the world moved on, but not away. Layla sat alone at a train station, scarf pulled around her shoulders. No phone, no mirror, but a stranger handed her tea. She sipped. The warmth spread down her throat like something holy. She didn't know she had gone viral. She only knew she could finally breathe. She borrowed someone's phone, typed in an old password. Thousands of messages flooded in. You are not alone. I see you. I'm naming my daughter after you. And one from Adam. You didn't just survive. You changed everything. The next morning, she returned to school. No hoodie, no scarf, no fake name. Just Layla, with a shaved head and a steady gaze. She stepped into the classroom, backpack slung loose, hands calm. Adam stood, clapped. Others followed. The room filled with the sound of palms meeting in solidarity. The teacher didn't stop them. Even the janitor joined in. It wasn't a performance. It was recognition for the girl they tried to erase, but who refused to disappear. Layla didn't want to be a symbol. She never asked to be anyone's headline. She only wanted to live as herself, with her name, with her truth, with or without hair, with or without approval. Just Layla. Some revolutions don't start with fire, or fists, or fury. Sometimes they begin with a whisper, a pair of trembling hands, a girl on a chair, a buzzing machine, a scarred scalp, and the courage to say, I exist, and I will not be erased.